Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful recap for Tuesday, May 6, 2025 is finally here. In tomorrow's episode, fans will see Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Messins Wood, make a promise to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp, Sean Kanan, runs into Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel. At the Cliff House, Steffy tells Liam that a miracle is coming. The patient is confident that if anyone can demand the tumor go away, it's her. Liam suggests the miracle isn't about living longer, but about brokering peace. He's determined to use whatever time he has left to help others. John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, enters as Liam nearly collapses. Finn pleads with Liam to make another appointment with Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech. Finn says that they are all hopeful, no one has given up. Liam suggests they need to be more realistic. Steffy doesn't think peace with hope is realistic. Liam's ride arrives, so he goes to see Hope. Steffy reminds him that Hope deserves to know the truth. Once Liam leaves, Steffy opens up to Finn about not wanting Liam to suffer. Finn loves what a good relationship Steen has. Steffy has never questioned his goodness. The topic turns to whether peace is possible. Steffy just hopes Liam tells Hope the truth. At Brooke Logan's, Catherine Kelly Lang house, Carter begs Hope to give their relationship another chance. Deacon walks in and isn't pleased to see Carter with Hope. The C2O claims to not to be disrespecting the father's wishes. Hope chimes in that her dad can't tell her who to see. Carter finally leaves, but promises not to give up on a future with Hope. Deacon rants to Hope about Carter. Their conversation is interrupted by Liam, so Deacon leaves. Before he goes out the door, Deacon tells Hope long-term happiness could be closer than she thinks. LOP talks about how much they love Beth Spencer, Jordan Lynn Ariza. Liam thanks his ex-wife for how she takes care of Beth. Liam starts pacing and says he's been doing some soul-searching. Hope can tell that something is wrong. Liam starts recalling Steffy pushing him to tell Hope the truth and starts twitching. Over at Forrester Creations, Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, and Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, are talking. Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, interrupts, looking for Carter. Electra mentions the COO probably went to see Hope. Daphne mentions they are all better off without Hope's line just as Carter walks in to hear it. Will and Electra decide to give Carter and Daphne some privacy. Electra wonders if Hope knows that Daphne wants Carter. Will doesn't want to talk about Daphne or Hope. He wants to talk about Electra and kisses her. Tuesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful was a masterclass in tension, loyalty, and the unpredictability of emotions, offering a rich tapestry of conflict and introspection as the drama unfolded across the lives of the Forrester, Logan, and Sharp families. At the heart of the day's episode stood Steffy Forrester, resolute and impassioned as she continued her tireless crusade to shield her family from the unraveling threads of chaos caused by the reappearance of Sheila Carter in their lives. Steffy's presence was commanding as she confronted the reality of Sheila's freedom, knowing full well that the woman who once terrorized her family was not just lurking in the shadows. She was out in the open, trying to reform, trying to re-enter the lives of those she'd hurt. But Steffy was unwavering. In an emotionally charged scene, she stood firm before Finn and reminded him of the vow they'd made, to protect their children from harm no matter the cost. Her voice, though tempered by grief and a buried weariness, rang clear with resolve. There would be no peace, no acceptance, and certainly no forgiveness. Not for Sheila, not in her home, not near her children. The flash in her eyes was the promise made manifest. She would not let Sheila come between them. Meanwhile, at Il Giardino, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife as Deacon Sharp, faced down Carter Walton in a confrontation that quickly escalated into a philosophical and emotional debate about loyalty, forgiveness, and redemption. Deacon, still stubbornly clinging to the belief that Sheila was capable of change, challenged Carter's disdain and disapproval, demanding to be heard, not just as a man in love, but as someone who believed in second chances. Carter, on the other hand, was seething beneath his composed exterior. To him, Deacon's attachment to Sheila was a betrayal of everything they stood for, every attempt the Forresters and Logans had made to live in peace after so many years of disruption. This was not just about one woman. It was about history, trauma, and the lengths people go to justify love that defies all logic. Carter warned Deacon that he was playing with fire, not just risking his own reputation, but putting the entire community in danger. But Deacon didn't back down. His eyes betrayed both defiance and a hint of desperation as he clung to the notion that if Sheila could be seen as human, maybe he could be too. But perhaps the most gut-wrenching moment of the episode came when Hope Logan, unsuspecting and unprepared, walked into a conversation that changed everything. In a scene masterfully played for emotional weight, Hope entered the room at Forrester Creations and overheard a crucial snippet of dialogue between Thomas and Ridge that left her reeling. The words weren't meant for her, but the truth they contained struck her like a slap. Thomas, in a moment of vulnerability, admitted to Ridge that despite his best efforts, he still loved Hope. Not the controlled, reformed love he'd sworn he'd matured into, but the kind of love that was consuming, lingering, and raw. Hope froze. The world shifted beneath her feet. After all their progress, after everything they'd been through to create healthy boundaries and rebuild trust, to hear this confession now, so naked, so unexpected, left her breathless. Her thoughts raced. Was she flattered? Was she afraid? Did she feel the same? These were the questions etched across her face as she silently backed away from the room, heart pounding, unsure of whether to confront or retreat. Later, she would find herself alone, staring at her reflection in the glass of the design studio, trying to understand the whirlwind of emotions taking root. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not again. She had made peace with Thomas's past feelings, had even believed they were behind him. But hearing it spoken out loud, hearing the unfiltered truth, resurrected everything she thought had been buried. And in true Hope fashion, her instinct wasn't just to protect herself, but to protect others. What would this mean for Douglas? For Liam? For Steffi, who had warned her so many times to tread carefully? The echoes of those warnings now rang louder than ever. And yet, there was something else beneath the shock. A flicker of confusion, a twinge of curiosity. Could she still feel something for Thomas? The thought lingered unspoken. Back at the Cliff House, Steffi and Finn continued their fraught discussion. While Steffi's anger hadn't cooled, there was a moment of vulnerability when she confessed that more than anything, she feared what this chaos could do to their marriage. Finn, caught between his biological mother and the woman he loved, listened silently. His face ached with conflict. He wanted to be the man Steffi could trust, but the pieces were not falling easily into place. His guilt over ever considering giving Sheila a second chance was evident, and in that moment, he reached for Steffi, assuring her that no matter what, his allegiance was with her. She softened, just slightly, but the air was still thick with the storm that hadn't passed. At Forrester Creations, Thomas remained unaware that his confession had been overheard. He continued working, lost in a haze of sketches and fabric, while Ridge quietly reflected on what had been said. Ridge, torn between pride in his son's progress and fear of a relapse into obsession, offered a father's subtle warning, encouraging Thomas to be careful with his heart and even more careful with Hope's. But Thomas, though nodding in agreement, couldn't fully hide the emotion behind his eyes. Hope had never been just another love. She was the vision, the muse, the what if that never quite went away. Deacon, meanwhile, was left fuming in the aftermath of his clash with Carter. Alone in the alley behind the restaurant, he sat on a crate, head in his hands, trying to reconcile what he felt with what the world expected of him. Every step forward he took, it seemed, was met with a wall of doubt and judgment. And yet, he couldn't let Sheila go. He remembered the glimmers of vulnerability she showed him, the softness she allowed only him to see. Whether it was delusion or devotion, Deacon didn't care. He had made his choice, and in doing so, isolated himself from nearly everyone he cared about. But that, to him, was a price worth paying. As the episode drew to a close, the threads wove tighter. Steffi looked out over the Pacific Ocean, her children safe inside, but her heart still unsettled. Hope stood in the design room, a tear sliding down her cheek, wondering if her heart was trying to speak truths she wasn't ready to hear. Thomas worked alone, unaware of the turmoil his words had caused. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our United News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.